गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय, दक्षिणामूर्ति भगवान की जय। You will follow or you will do it together? Together? I don't know about others. Huh?
My sheets very reserved. You should speak. We can share. Okay, thank you.
मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित परब्रह्म तत्त्वं युवानं वर्षेष्ठान्ते वसद् ऋषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दमूर्तिं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीढे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषण्णं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्नसंशयः निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चिद्धनाय महेशाय वटमूलनिवासिने सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। These were the dhyan shlokas. Now we come to the stotram. Vishwam darpana drishymananagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya bahirivod bhutan yatha nidraya yasakshat kurute prabodha samaye स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत् कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणा भवेन्न पुनरा वृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाच्छिद्रघटोदर स्थितमहा दीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणा द्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभाति एतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. In the first verse, we saw how the entire world is like a city seen within a mirror. The seeing happening within one's own being, that mirror was taken as the mirror of consciousness. Just as in the mirror is constant, mirror is unchanging. In that, the whole world as if is reflected. What is the status of the world? We saw that there. So there the idea was not to prove whether the world is or not. The idea was, the point that was being made is that the surface on which the world is getting reflected, that surface is the constant one. That was the main point. And automatically, if that is the constant one, what is the status of the reflected world? It's ephemeral, it's phenomenal, it's existing in its own absence, and so on and so forth. And don't take that mirror, don't start looking for a mirror somewhere. We are talking about your own mind, and that mind is nothing but consciousness. That will be taken up in this fourth verse now. It is a witnessing happening within the Atman of the externally projected world projected by the power of Maya, as if a dream in sleep. Yeah? So the whole thing is happening within the reality, not outside the reality, because the reality is the only thing. It's ekameva dvitiya. There is nothing, nanasti kinchana. There is nothing else apart from the reality. And that reality you are. So nothing is outside reality, but I see everything outside. No, you have to take the position that what is being talked of as the constant principle, the reality that you are. So, what is your experience right now? The whole world is outside me. The whole samsara is outside me. And what is the scripture prompting us to take position? That the whole world is happening within me, not within me the body, not within me the senses, not within me the mind, but within me the Atman. See? So, what you should consider yourself as? You should consider yourself as the Sat, the constant principle, like the surface of the mirror. Here it is only we have to use words, so we are saying that, like the surface of the mirror. And what is the status of the world? What is the material of the world? For that, the example taken is of the dream. Just as the entire dream comes out of the mind, exists in the mind, and goes back to the mind. So, because the dream has happened, has the mind become less? No. Because the dream has merged back into the mind, has the mind become more? No. While the dream was expressing, was the mind disturbed? Maybe, maybe not. But actually not. Why? Because your experience is once you get up, you don't even give it any value. So, this we can appreciate and talk about and comprehend about the dream. This has to happen with reference to the waking world also. And this can happen with reference to the waking world only if we take the position of being the constant principle, the conscious principle, and make an attempt to look at the world from the eyes of the scriptures. The Dakshinamurti is not there to entertain us, it is there to transform us. How beautiful it is written, what contemplative. It does not need your validity. It has come into our life to dissolve, to make us recognize that we are not the individual whom we consider. We are the infinite one. See? So, throughout these 2 days, keep your attention not on food, not on the weather, not on. And if your mind does go to all those things, acha, my vibhuti, me, all this is me. Hello, Ingrid. We didn't say hello. Huh? So all this is, we can't even say that, because whatever is included, there is no distinction. Where there is no distinction, there is no speech required. There is no communication. So if everything is in me, therefore, remember the first verse of the Dhyan Shloka, Maunam Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Varshishtante Vasat Rishiganaihi Avrutam Brahma Nithaihi. Maunam Vyakhya. So we talked about it in detail at that time. Therefore, no. So now here, in the one more point, that is the Yas Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanam Eva Dvayam. One experiences this directly, the play of Maya, during spiritual awakening within the non-dual expanse of one's own Atman. Actually, everything is happening in you, but you are imagining that it is happening outside of you. Don't you know that the waking, dream, and deep sleep happen? Yes. Where do they happen? Do they happen outside? Where do they happen? You don't even say that it happens within, because you are the witness. Only when prompted in this manner, in a class like this, in a satsang like this, then you say, yeah man, I am the witness of those three. Normally we don't speak that way. We should make others go mad. What is this? We should practice third person. Acha, now I'm awake now. Now the mind is awake. Now this fellow wants to go to sleep. This fellow had a wonderful dream or a very disgusting dream. Now this fellow is hungry. Now this fellow is giving a lecture. Many masters speak that way. So that not even an iota of leeway is given to identify with this equipment. That's why they speak in that language. So here, just as the entire dream is happening in the here what is it say? It is said in the non-dual expanse. From the dream people point of view, mind is the non-dual expanse. Because you are in waking, we say, oh, she has a mind, he has a mind, how many? So many minds here. But there is not many minds. Just like there are not many waters. There may be many ways, but the water is one, isn't it? The ornaments may be many, but the gold is one. The pots may be many, but the mud is one. Similarly, minds seem to be many, but actually there is only one mind. Similarly, consciousness appears to be many, but actually is one. How? The example taken as in the dream. All the individual consciousnesses in the dream were part and parcel of your own consciousness, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, maybe in that state, the dream consciousness, the dream person was inclusive of all the individual beings in the dream, isn't it? They came from him, they existed in him, and they go back to him, because you don't say the dream came to someone else, you say I had the dream. Exactly the same thing is happening in the waking also. The only thing required is you have to wake up. You have to wake up. And that waking up does not require, now don't start imagining that waking up to this principle to yourself means like waking up from the dream. Because there you are going from one state to the other. And that other state, which is called the waking state, is also a temporary one. You see? But here, when you wake up from the waking state, you don't go back to a temporary state. It is not a state also. You go back to your own being. You become awakened to your own consciousness. What our Nachiketa was told by Yamaraj, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varanni Bodhata. Arise, awake to your own self, to your own consciousness. Varanni Bodhata, and claim it like the realized ones have claimed. See? Then we came to the second verse. Bijasyantarivangkuro jagadidam prang nirvikalpam punaha maya kalpita desha kala kalana vaichitrya chitrikrutam. He says, this world is like a sprout of a seed within which transforms what is changeless state before appears again. Bijasyantarivangkuro jagadidam. It comes from that from the seed. Normally our understanding of a seed is that out of seed anything is created. I think this example came in Kathopanishad also. And if this seed, out of this seed the tree comes out with the shoot and the root, the seed is destroyed, isn't it? That is the moment the thought seed comes into our mind, we think about our breakfast. sun-dried sunflower seeds, pepita seeds, almonds, akharot kya bolte hain, walnuts. Immediately start thinking like that. No, here the seed, the peculiar quality of this seed is, you are the seed. Don't forget that. The quality is, even if the creation has taken place out of this seed, the seed remains untouched. The seed remains unmodified. The seed continues to remain complete. So now we change the wordings. The consciousness out of which this whole creation is manifesting, staying and going back, even though manifestation has taken place, expression has taken place, the phenomena has come about, but there is no change in the origin from where this whole phenomena has come about. That is what is being talked about here. And what is changeless before appears again. So it's the play of the consciousness through itself. That consciousness, just as the seed itself becomes the root and the shoot and the trunk and the branches and etc., etc., similarly this consciousness alone manifests as the variety of this world. It is the, what were the words we used there? It is the upadana karan and the nimitta karan. What does it mean in English? Upadan is the material cause. So the variety, the names and forms that we see of this world, they are made out of the material called consciousness. And where is that consciousness? You are that consciousness. Don't forget. Otherwise, you'll start looking. And who is the creator? Who may use that material to make different forms? You alone are the creator. You only are the molder. At this stage, see, even though you are nodding, you are understanding, but true understanding will come about of this only when? 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 When will true understanding come about? When you abide, there is no understanding required. Sorry. Huh. So when will it start clicking? Only when we are so engrossed in the subject matter that is being communicated that we lose the idea that we are the body. Without body disidentification, these ideas that are presented, they will not stick to you. And the only process for this transformation in you to come about is Shravanam. It is not studying, it is Shravanam. And that is why, again and again, expose yourself to these satsangs, wherever it is available. And you tell me, I know myself, from the first time when I heard till today, the knowledge side of it, the conviction side of it. You think about yourself when you started, when you first went to the satsang, when you thought only this is what religion means, then slowly, suddenly you realize, yeah, religion and spirituality seems to be different. And you moved, suddenly some shift came, and spirituality you started, acha, so going to temples can become spiritual if my attitude is right. But what should be that attitude? That the stone statue doesn't teach you. That only the scriptures teach. But how do I study scriptures? Only when through a parampara, through a Brahmanishta Purush, preferably, or Acharya. What did we say? What is the difference between Acharya, Brahmachari, not Brahmachari, Brahmanish Purush, Acharya, and Pandit or Shastri? Shastri is he or those who are well versed in the scriptures, elephantine memory, wonderful, can give good exposition also, but they don't practice it in their life. It's only intellectual appreciation. Acharya is the one who is able to put the same scriptures because he has followed a certain parampara, a certain lineage. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankara Acharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So we belong to that parampara of Shankaracharya. Till where? Till our teacher who taught us. And who are these? So all that wisdom from Lord to the Shankaracharya to so many Shankaracharyas have come by. We belong to that lineage. So all that wisdom which has been passed on has come to us. Vande Guru Paramparam. So can an individual study these scriptures by themselves and come to glean or come to understand all that has... There are so many contradictions, there are so many buts all along the way. See? So there is a paddhati, there is a methodology by which it is communicated to the student. So that is and most important. The Acharya may be a Shastri also, may be well versed in scriptures, may be well versed in Sanskrit, maybe not well versed in the Sanskrit language, but enough to communicate because he has heard from his teacher. But most important, the second part of it is he practices it in his life. Practice is what? What does he practice? He practices what he is teaching. He practices what he is teaching. Not merely a parrot, like we are. Take this, take that, take that. But practices in life. And Brahmavid, Brahmanisht Purush, what does he do? He is established. No, he doesn't have to do anything. He is established in the reality, and because before he got realized, he had studied all the scriptures, he had understood everything. So even after realization, he is able to continue to communicate, and now with even more from direct experience. Same thing, the Acharya also, he teaches from his experience of whatever he has gone through in reflection of the verses. Whereas a Shastri or Pandit, he only teaches, if he is a teacher, he only teaches what he has studied. So, as space and time and endless varieties of pictures over it, all due to the creation of Maya. So, where have so there the conditionings of space and time and the Maya, because of that incomplete knowledge, we are able to see the variety instead of the one. We are able to see the variety of ornaments instead of one gold. You have to cultivate the vision. The goldsmith will see only the gold. He will not see the ornaments. He has got no value for it. And you, my God, the whole world is going topsy-turvy. Gold has crossed so much. I think we should buy the gold. And what you will go and buy? Ornament. And then dollar breaks, falls, and you take that $10,000 ornament and go and return to the goldsmith. How much he will give you? Not 1,000. He'll give you 8,000, 7,000. Depends upon what intricate design you have bought. Huh? But if you buy a gold nugget, it also has a shape. But when you take it back, what will you get? Total money, no loss, maybe profit. You see, just as gold as it is without any specific specificity or design. So on account of whom is this variety seen? Here it is called incomplete knowledge, or it is because of the Maya Shakti, and it expresses as space, time and objectivity. Then Maya viva vijrumbhayatyapi maha yogi vaya swechaya. This unfolding of the world from the seed, which is like a play of a magician, happens to one who is like a Mahayogi out of his own free will. And that is, a Mahayogi can enter the state of Samadhi out of his own free will and witness the unfolding of the world when he comes out of the Samadhi. Are we able to do that? Every day we are going through waking, dream, deep sleep. Are you able to see the mind going to sleep? Are you able to see the mind waking up? You are, but you are not aware of it, that's all. You are seeing it. Otherwise, how can you talk about it? Did you wake up this morning? All of you will say yes. So who is the one who is saying? That fellow was the witness. Did you have a dream last night? Yes. Who is saying this yes? It cannot be the waker because he was unavailable there. So you are the eternal witness at any given moment. Then why are we, if we are already that, why are we not being that all the time? You are being that also all the time. But your attention is on the relative. Your attention is on the changing. So for this to click, see, when we come to Dakshinamurti or Upanishads, only cultivate. You all enjoy. You are listening to Kathopanishad nowadays. Not much story. But another person who enjoys Radha Krishna ka prem, and see Ram, Sita, little bit of tears, all the Navarasas are there. But in Upanishad, no Navarasas. In Dakshinamurti, no Navarasas. So a person's mind becomes dull. It starts going to sleep. Why? Because yaar, idhar to kuch hai hi nahi. Same Brahman, I am the consciousness, I am the consciousness, I am the consciousness. The world has come out of me, but I understand it has come out of me, but how? I don't know. Why? I don't know. Yeah, knowledge is there, but it is not able to sprout or it is not able to click because of predominance of the wrong knowledge. What is the wrong knowledge? Body identification. That is the reason. So this paddhati, this methodology that is given in our scriptures is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. If we come with faith, we come with Shraddha and devotion and surrender to Dakshinamurti, that by your grace it will happen. Initially that is required as long as your body, but as you are studying the verses of Dakshinamurti, even that also goes away. And then Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Yasyaiva Sfuranam Sadatmakam Asat Kalparthakam Bhasate Sakshat Tattvamasi Diveda Vachasa Yo Bodhayatyashritan. So here he says in the first verse, by this throb alone, which is of the nature of eternal undying awareness, the unreal forms get their meaning and appear over the mind by this throb alone. What is this throb? This is a throb of consciousness. Without this throb is in the consciousness as the consciousness. See, we say we are the doer and we are the enjoyer, or we are putting forth Kriya Shakti, and we are understanding everything with our Jnana Shakti. Isn't it? That's what we say. To understand this, these ideas that are given here, and what is the idea? That you are that. For that, you have to get out of the way by being the Kriya Shakti or the Jnana Shakti. You have to hand it over to the totality. You have to hand it over to the infinite principle. That he alone is making the Sphurna possible. He alone is the maintainer of it. He is alone the destroyer of it. Everything is he alone. There is no question. And he alone is understanding. And how does he understand the whole thing that he is doing? Without thinking. How? Do you think? Out of you, waking, dream, deep sleep. These are the three creations coming out of you every day. Three creations are coming every day, isn't it? Do you think now I have to wake up? You don't. Waking happens, then you say I am awake. Sleep comes, then you say I have to sleep. When the dream is coming, you don't even know dream is coming or not. Only after waking up you come to know. So without thinking, without prompting it, without projecting it, it's happening by his will. So you get out of the way. But in that, what will happen? As you keep yourself aside, slowly, 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 the vision will be developed that that one who is doing it, or in whose presence all this is happening, that conscious, witnessing consciousness, I alone am. It is not going to be possible merely by reading. It will be possible only by purification. Only by purification. See, the only obstacle between you and yourself is what? Mind. Actually, mind is also not a problem, because mind is also consciousness. So, what is the problem? Thoughts. Thought is also not a problem. If we understand what thought is also not a problem. When we identify with the thoughts, then the problem begins. Because body is a thought, mind is a thought, senses are a thought, speech is a thought, intellect is a thought, concepts are a thought, waking dream, deep sleep is a thought, space, air, fire, water, earth is a thought, God is a thought, individuality, totality is a thought, infinity is a thought, everything is a thought. And what is mind's job? To think. Let it think. If you don't get identified with thinking, which is the job of the mind, very quickly the mind will undo thinking. It keeps thinking and keeps the loop, the cyclical loop of thinking going on, because you are giving it attention. If you give attention to the mind says, "Arey, he's giving me attention. I must do more for him. He loves me so much." Okay, expand more thoughts. Like someone looks at a person, "How beautiful you are." Immediately, lipstick, सब कुछ लगा लो के. How am I looking now? That तरीके. So if you tell someone that how beautiful you are looking, they will do it more, then they overdo it. Mind also is exactly the same. It overdoes. The more attention you give, the more activated it gets. But when your attention is on the infinity, when your attention is on these type of thoughts, you are undoing the mind without trying. We are not undoing the mind by pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. We are not doing all that. Just merely listen. Because what this talk is about yourself, the consciousness. See? So in this manner, this knowledge of Atman spoken of in the Vedas as Tattvamasi is imparted by our inner Guru as a direct experience when we surrender wholeheartedly to him. That's what I was telling. The Guru is within. We keep saying, before we teach you, we teach our own mind. Isn't it? So who is teaching whom? What is the inner Guru? See, our mind is like a flip coin, a coin, heads and tails. One side of the coin is looking out towards the world, another side of the coin is looking towards the consciousness. Just like you have a mirror. One side of the mirror is reflecting the whole world, and the other side of the mirror is dark. It's dark, isn't it? It's not reflecting anything. Like that is our mind. Question is, where are you? Where are you looking? So if the mind is extrovert, it is lost in everything. When the mind is introvert, it comes to the source. So where is the problem? Where is the problem? In a dark room, can a mirror reflect anything? No. In a dark room, mirror cannot reflect anything. Suppose the room is, so here, if you didn't see that, but there is a room, then there is another room, there is another room, 3 rooms. But fortunately, here we have windows on both sides, so light is coming in. But suppose, imagine, if you, I don't know if you have ever been, have you been to Patal Bhubaneswar in Kumaon area in Himalayas? No. Good. Then I can use the example. Or you have been to Tirupati Balaji?
Yes.
How many gates do you cross to get to the Sanctum Sanctorium? 7. 7 chakras. 7. In the last one, did you see Balaji? Very quickly. Split of a second, isn't it? Otherwise, it's pitch dark. No sunlight coming. There are 7 doors for the light to pierce through all those 7 rooms, then reach the innermost. Then how can I bring the room? There are some pyramids, there are some temples in India also. I can't remember the name, but I've seen also one, I can't remember which one, but there are others. That the temple is completely dark, but at a particular time, 12 noon or some time, from one hole in the entire structure on the surface, on the top, the light comes and it brightens the entire temple from inside. Entire, itna light aa jata hai. But other times, it's absolutely pitch dark. Similarly, we can take a mirror, put it on the first door. When the sun comes, we take it at an angle. The sun will reflect on the mirror, and the reflected beam will come inside the 7 doors, and it can show us the Balaji, or it can light up. Acha, oh my God, I didn't know Balaji is wearing such an expensive crown, such an expensive kamarband, such a beautiful ornaments. It's a sight to behold if you have seen the photograph. But all that is possible only in the light. Now, where is that light going? That light is getting reflected into the temple. Now, be very attentive. When the temple was, before the mirror came into play, the temple was there, the sun was also there. Could the sun illuminate the Sanctum Sanctorium? No. Why? Because it could not reach there, isn't it? Suppose the sun is not there. Can the mirror by itself illuminate the Sanctum Sanctorium? The 7th room, the innermost room. So what is required now? The sun is also required. The mirror is also required to illuminate all the names and forms. Isn't it? You understanding this idea? Similarly, the consciousness by itself cannot do anything. Consciousness, it's of the nature of light. अभी आएगा, इसमें ही आएगा. नाना छिद्र घटोदर स्थिता. See, it cannot do anything by itself. It needs the mind to illuminate the world. Without the mind, and how does it reflect in the mind? There are 2 parts. There is mind and intellect. On the intellect, it reflects as the reflected consciousness. That reflected consciousness then bifurcates into I and aham and idam. And then knowledge takes place as you know it. See? So now, with that, here it is told that, not this one. The third verse, Yat sakshat karanat bhavenna punara vrittir bhavambho nidhau tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. By direct experience of this knowledge, the delusion of being tossed with an unending ocean of worldly existence will not appear again. Yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. No, yas sakshat karanat bhavenna punara. I'm going into a different verse. Prabodha samaye. Sakshat means immediate experience. Only by immediate experience we can go beyond all the cyclical world, the cyclical life that we are experiencing. And where is this cyclical life? Very simply put, that it is the ocean of worldly existence. And once we abide in the self that we are, thereafter there is no world possible to such a person. This is the Tattvamasi Mahavakya. Tat is that consciousness. Tvam is you consciousness. And what did we, this is an overview I am giving you. And what did we say? You are the individual consciousness at this moment. And that is the universal consciousness. Just as, do we need any proof? Do we need to prove it to anyone that we exist? I am existing. Janami. It will come in the next one. I know I am, and I know I am without a thought. So when we come to this individual consciousness, I know without a thought. The medium of thought is not required because I am consciousness. Now then I say, and this consciousness is existing. I understand that. And I know that I am existing. But what about the rest of the world? What about all these people, all these chairs, all these tables, all these equipment, everything? Do I know? Yes, we say that the reality, that existence that you are, you know. Similarly, there is a universal existence which is the basis of the entire world. And that Sat, which is called Sat. So what is that reality which is behind the entire world of names and forms? It is called Sat. What is the reality about you? Chit. Why? Because I cannot come to know your Chit. I cannot come to know your consciousness. I know you are conscious beings. Thank God. Otherwise, I am not talking to dead people. Understand? But same way, do I say, I know that you all exist, but I know this body also exists, but I know I am something more than the body. I know I exist. You see? And then this Chit and that Sat comes together. That comes together in the third verse here. So Sat, Chit and Anand. Now, my God, you told how many? 8 lectures you covered last time. In 8 lectures we covered maybe 2 verses we did last time. Before that, another 8 lectures we did the Dhyan Shlokas. So after studying all this, I understand I am Satchit and everything. But what about the world? What about my experience of this world? What about my interaction with this world? I am unable to withdraw from the world. I am unable to withdraw from the world. So is there no possibility for me? No possibility. Can this fantastic vision given by you in the first 3 verses, can it be made practical in the living world? While living, can I have some sadhana, some vision by which, while living, not going into Himalayas and into the cave and then wait for the mirror to come and give the light. While living, is it possible for me to get that vision and have some approach? Put your feet towards you, never face the teacher. Khatak raha tha. You understand khatak raha tha? It was disturbing. No, I was getting disturbed. You don't have to worry. You were enjoying. Huh? So, can we translate this disposition given in the first three verses? Basically, such Tattvamasi. Is it possible to practice that while living in this world? While moving around? What should be our approach of the world? For that, the fourth verse begins. Repeat after me. Nana chidra ghatodara sthitamaha. Nana chidra ghatodara sthitamaha. Deepa prabha bhaswaram. Deepa prabha bhaswaram. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana. Dvara bahispandate. Dvara bahispandate. Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati. Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati. Etat samastam jagata. Etat samastam jagata. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam. Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Together. Nana chidra ghatodara sthitamaha. Deepa prabha bhaswaram. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana. Dvara bahi spandate. Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati. Etat samastam jagata. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam. Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Nana chidra ghatodara sthitamaha. Deepa prabha bhaswaram. Nana, many, chidra, holes, ghata, a pot with many holes. Sthitamaha, in that pot with many holes is kept a big deepa, big lamp, and it is illuminating. Bhaswaram, it is illuminating. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana dvara bahispandate. And similarly, if you can understand, then what will happen when you look at this pot with many holes and the light from inside coming out of, because everything else is closed. Now, can you see the sunlight through the wall? No, it's only possible through the windows, isn't it? Because that medium is allowing the sunlight to come out. So the rest of the pot where there are no holes, what is happening? No light coming out. Not possible. See? So where there are holes, what is happening? The light is rushing forth outside. Exactly the same way. This is the pot. In this, these are the holes. The five senses, mind and intellect are the holes, 7 holes. The light located inside the Mahadipam is the consciousness. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyato bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Na tatra, what is that? What is this consciousness? Na tatra suryo bhati, where the light of the sun doesn't reach, the moon doesn't reach, the stars doesn't reach, the lightning doesn't reach. So these are all the sources of light. But who is validating all these sources? The one who is validating these must be more greater illuminator than all these, isn't it? What is that? The eyes are not consciousness. The eyes are the illuminator of all these sources of light. But there is a mind. Someone behind here knows there is a mind in which all the thoughts are coming and going. So there is another illuminator behind the mind, behind the intellect, which is called the intellect, which is the I. But that I also behaves in a funny way. It is a waker I, dreamer I, sleeper I, meditator I. There is someone behind that also who knows that these four eyes come and go. Correct? Now don't ask further question. Who is behind that? Nobody is behind that. Don't keep regressing. See? So, in this example itself, we have taken your attention away from the outside world, brought you to the senses. From the senses, we have taken you to the mind. From the mind to the intellect. From the intellect to the witnessing consciousness. You understand? So similarly, now first we saw, from there we came in. In the first three verses we came in. But here is Nana Chidra. Now you look from inside, you look outside. If you want to look at yourself, you think of yourself as the pot. And there are 7 holes. Those holes are the 5 senses, mind and intellect. And there is a huge, great lamp of consciousness, because consciousness is called the illuminator. It is called the light of consciousness. And can you see the light here? No. It is only where when the light passes through the intellect, what do you see? What gets reflected? I. When it passes through the mind, what gets reflected? The thoughts. When that light passes through the holes of the 5 senses, what do you see? Seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, isn't it? So each, just like in that pot, if this is the pot, or whichever, take that speaker as a pot. If there is a hole at the back and there is a hole in the front, can the hole in the front illuminate the light with that light which is coming in the front? Can it illuminate the wall at the back? No, it has got its own direction. It will go and illuminate only what comes in its purview. Exactly the same way, if this is understood. Similarly, is there a problem with illumination? No. When a person is dead, is there illumination? Is there light? Yes, there is light. So when a person is dead, is there illumination taking place? Is there life taking place? Is there reflected consciousness happening? Or forget about reflected consciousness. Is consciousness there or not? Then what is happening? The medium through which it was expressing, manifesting, that was not available. Like, we have got so many lights here. Electricity is continuously going on. Because one bulb gets diffused, do we say electricity is no longer there? Only the reflecting medium had become corrupt. All you do is fix it, and again the same electricity starts expressing through it. Same thing is happening here also. Same thing is happening here. That through the five senses, through the mind, through the intellect, the consciousness is shining forth as life. That we understand. Then where's the problem? Then where's the problem? This is, I can understand this. Then stay there. But when I'm staying there again, the thought comes. My attention goes to the thought. My attention goes to the waker, dreamer, sleeper. My attention goes to hunger and thirst. See, understand the principle that the problem is not in you. The hunger is not for you. If I take the glasses off, I can't read. The problem is not with me. The problem is with the instrument called the eyes. If the hip is hurting, the problem is with the instrument called the hip. If I'm not able to hear, the problem is with the instrument called the ears. If I'm not able to understand, the problem is with the mind, the instrument called the mind. Then what do you have to do? Why there is a problem there? Why mentally I am not able to comprehend? Why the eyes are not able to see clearly? Why? Because there is cataract. Or there is too much earwax inside. Huh? Or there is arthritis, which is deposit of whatever, calcium, whatever. Huh? Then why has this happened? Because you did not nourish your being, your body correctly in the proper manner. See? And that is all what scriptures are telling you. Nourish yourself properly. And what is nourishing properly? Sukha dukkha samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yuddhasva na kankshati na shochati na kankshati. So what is nourishment? What is corruption? If mind is clear, see, let's come to senses. If my eyes are clear, there are no raga dvesh, there is no like and dislike behind my eyes, I will accept the person as he or she is. Correct? But if I have a like and dislike in it, then I like her, I don't like her, I maybe like her, I don't. It is my mother, so I have to like her. So we come to these conclusions, isn't it? Or someone gives more dakshina, oh, I really like her. See, this is corruption. And when these thoughts, these impressions are there in your mind, now that light which was expressing unobstructed through your eyes suddenly is obstructed by the likes and dislikes. Now you are not seeing a thing as it is. You understand? Same thing. The thoughts also, you are not able to. Thoughts are distractions, not distractions, obstacles. So we are not allowing. And why do thoughts come? Because of identification. Only when we identify with the body, then the mind is created. And in that, what is mind? Nothing but thoughts. So in that thought, what are the thoughts about? About the variety. And now mind is essentially nothing but consciousness. Consciousness reflect in consciousness. Wave, water playing with water is wave. Consciousness reflecting consciousness. But in between now, there is a little bit of dirt. It gets more refracted. Instead of clear reflection, there is refraction. And you are not able to see, the mind is not able to understand, because there are so many options available now. So many refracted lights, so many thoughts, that many more ideas, that many more ideas, that many more options, that many more options equal to confusion. Simple. Simple. Then what do we have to do? Keep taking Nana Chidra Gadodara Stitamaha Deepa Prabha Bhaswaram. Keep reiterating, you understand? Keep reinforcing in yourself that I am the light which is manifesting through this body, through these 7 holes which are illuminating the whole world. I am not here because of the world. I am the one who is illuminating the world. If I was not there, eyes cannot see it. If I was not there, the 5 senses cannot interact with their stimuli. If I is not there, mind cannot do its function. If I is not there, intellect cannot come to its convictions. Nana Chidra Ghatodara Stitamaha Deepa Prabha Bhaswaram Jnanasya tu Kshuradikarana Dwara Bahispandate. Spandate, it's a, what do you call it? Throb. It's the conscious throb which is continuously. This throb is due to the Kriya Shakti. One is the Jnana Shakti, one is the Kriya Shakti. That consciousness itself is knowing, and that consciousness itself is the throb. You understand? You yourself are knowing and you yourself are seeing. You yourself are the consciousness, you yourself are the mind. See? We'll stop here and we'll come back 1 hour. You didn't remind, but I saw. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment.